Good morning, everyone. Today I have come with a new topic. So, my question is, have you ever felt your body suddenly growing weak? So, one may feel tingling sensation, may feel numbness and loss of control. Then he or she must be alert. Now, it might not be just fatigue. Often we think that it may be due to fatigue, but actually it might not be just fatigue. It may be that your immune system turns against your nerves, and that is the Guillain-Barré syndrome. So, what are the past medical responses? What past medical visuals? I have put those over there. Sudden onset, progressive weakness, and hospitalization. So now, what are the signs? Numbness, tingling, weakness. So you must stay tuned. Your awareness could save a life. So this is the final call to action. One must know the signs and then what to do. So today's topic is Guillain-Barré syndrome. What is GBS? What is the hidden threat after infection? It is actually the response of the immune system after infection. So this is the acute immune-mediated disorder of the peripheral nervous system, often triggered by infections. The infectious agent, etiological agent may be Campylobacter jejuni, Zika virus, or cytomegalovirus. And this is characterized by rapid onset muscle weakness and paralysis. So what is the pathogenesis? Actually, the term which represents the pathogenesis of GBS is the molecular mimicry. This is the most important, which leads to autoimmune attack on the myelin sheath. Hence, there will be demyelination and axonal damage, which cause neurological deficits. There are three subtypes of GBS: AIDP, AMAN, and AMSAN. AIDP means acute inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, which attacks the peripheral nerves, leading to demyelination. The myelin sheath covering the nerve is covering the axons, which gets affected, and subsequent weakness, numbness, paralysis. And this is the rapid onset. AMAN AMAN is the acute motor axonal neuropathy. Motor nerve damage occurs, no sensory nerve damage. Specific axonal damage, leaving the myelin sheath remains intact here. And there will be weakness, paralysis. The most common type is the AIDP, the first one. AIDP is the most common type. This AIDP is the most common type. Then AMAN, and the rarer variety is the AMSAN, where it attacks. This full form is acute motor and sensory axonal neuropathy, which affects both motor and sensory nerves. Rarer, but it is the most severe form, and it is characterized by rapid progression. Immune system attacks the axon, the long fibers, which transmits the nerve signals. Now, what are the clinical features? There is progressive symmetrical muscle weakness, areflexia, and sensory abnormalities, autonomic dysfunction like BP fluctuations, blood pressure fluctuations, arrhythmias, respiratory compromise. In severe cases is the ascending neuropathy, starts from the lower limbs and ascends upwards and affects the diaphragm finally when respiratory symptoms start to appear. The initial symptoms will be, I can't feel my legs. So, diagnosis of GBS, first and foremost, is the clinical evaluation. Rapidly progressive weakness or reflexia. The patient will complain of tingling, numbness, rapidly progressive weakness. CSF analysis, elevated protein, normal WBC count, and electromyography and nerve conduction studies should be there. investigated and MRI to rule out other causes. And treatment of GBS, IV immunoglobulin or plasma exchange, supportive care, ventilatory support if needed, physiotherapy for rehabilitation, immunomodulatory therapies are under investigations. Now, regarding recent outbreaks and associations, Zika virus outbreaks linked to increased GBS cases. COVID-19 associated post-infectious GBS cases have been reported. Molecular epidemiology studies are ongoing, and most recent outbreak in Pune, India. Now, what about Pune outbreak of GBS? Over 100 reported cases, two to a few deaths, 17 were on ventilation, primarily linked to intake of contaminated water. Contaminated with what? Campylobacter jejuni. Also contaminated undercooked chicken or meat. Reports suggested leakages in pipelines and sewage mixing with drinking water might have played a role in the outbreak. So first infection, and then uh, immune system gets activated, and it attacks the normal nerve cells, the myelin sheath, because it recognizes the activated immune system recognizes the myelin sheath as the same antigen as the infective agent. Now, post-COVID relationship as predisposing factor, post-COVID immune dysregulation and molecular mimicry, where the immune system mistakenly attacks the peripheral nerves. Rise in post-COVID autoimmune diseases like myocarditis, persistent inflammation or immune activation. Pune had a very high COVID-19 infection rates like other places in Maharashtra. Combination of already existing dysregulated status of immune system. Now, possible vaccine-related concerns, though extremely rare, but some studies explored mRNA and viral vector COVID-19 vaccines as a possible trigger, maybe. However, benefit of vaccination outweighs the risk, and vaccine-associated GBS remain very rare compared to post-COVID GBS cases. Now, earliest possible diagnosis, the time is crucial for treatment of GBS, for prognosis of GBS. If it can be diagnosed and treatment can be initiated at the earliest, then complications can be avoided. Crucial to initiate prompt treatment, prevent complications like respiratory failure. Following are the steps, clinical signs and symptoms. First 24 to 48 hours, it should be monitored vigorously. And GBS typically starts with symmetrical muscle weakness. This is very important. Symmetrical muscle weakness, tingling or numbness in hands and feet, loss of reflexes, especially deep tendon reflexes, and facial weaknesses. Key early indicator, what are the key early indicator? Areflexia and progressive weakness in a patient with recent infection like gastroenteritis, and respiratory infections also may be there. So don't wait, it should be diagnosed very early. Nerve conduction studies, NCS and electromyography, EMG should be carried out within 24 to 48 hours. Earliest confirmatory test it shows demyelination, that is low conduction velocity and conduction block. It can detect axonal variants like whether it is Aman type or Amson type in very early stages, and so can be treated accordingly. Now, lumbar puncture CSF analysis after 48 hours. Classical findings will be elevated protein but normal WBC. That is called albuminocytologic dissociation. Protein should elevated more than 45 milligram per DL. May be normal in the first 24 hours but positive after 48 hours. So it should be carried out after 48 hours only. Now, serum autoantibodies. What are the autoantibodies? Anti-GM1, anti-GQ1B to be done in 3 to 5 days. It takes 3 to 5 days for the elevation of the level of serum autoantibodies. Useful in GB variants like Miller-Fisher syndrome, Aman type. Not essential for diagnosis, but it helps confirm subtypes. Now, MRI spine with contrast to rule out other causes within 24 to 48 hours can show nerve root enhancement suggestive of inflammation where the inflammation is there. If inflammation is there, there will be nerve root enhancement in MRI and used if clinical presentation is not clear. Earliest possible diagnostic timeline. Day 1 to 2 clinical examination plus nerve conduction studies if available. Day 2 to 3 or better 3 to 4 lumbar puncture and 3 to 5 serum antibodies for subtypes. Now, what are the key takeaways? Clinical suspicion is the most crucial early step. Nerve conduction studies are the fastest objective tests. Lumbar puncture confirms GBS, but may be normal in the first 24 hours. It should be kept in mind. If it is done in first 24 hours, it came normal, then GBS cannot be ruled out. It should be done after 48 hours. Early IVIG or plasmapheresis can prevent severe complications, and early intervention improve outcome. So GBS should be treated as a neurological emergency. Now treatment, first line treatment is the intravenous immunoglobulin. Most commonly used treatment disease mechanism. What is the mechanism? It neutralizes the autoantibodies and modulates immune system, immune response. Base started within 2 weeks of symptoms onset for maximum effectiveness. Number 2 is the plasma exchange, that is platelets or plasmapheresis, alternative to IVIG, but they should not be used together. It removes autoantibodies from the blood, typically 5 sessions over 10 days, and it is more effective if started within 7 to 14 days. Now, IVIG versus PLEX, plasmapheresis, both are equally effective if started early. IVIG is preferred due to ease of administration. PLEX is considered in severe cases or if IVIG is not available, but it should be given together. Supportive therapy, equally important. Number 1 is respiratory support. 30% of GBS patients develop respiratory failure, so they may need mechanical ventilation. Early intubation when, if rapidly worsening weakness, reduced oxygen saturation, SpO2 is falling, and CO2 retention. And next is the pain management. Neuropathic pain is common. Neuropathic pain means there will be symptoms of burning. Patient will complain of burning, tingling, severe discomfort. Drug used gabapentin or pregabalin to for soothing the pain, neuropathic pain. Amitriptyline for chronic pain. NSAIDs or opioids if severe pain. Physiotherapy and rehabilitation. Finally, early mobilization prevents muscle wasting. Passive exercises and respiratory physiotherapy help in recovery. Autonomic dysfunction management. There will be autonomic dysfunctions like arrhythmia, BP fluctuation, urinary retention, ileus. So treatment, monitor BP closely for hypotension and hypertension, fluids and vasopressors if whatever needed, catheterization if urinary retention, and prophylactic thrombosis prevention. Because patient will remain bedridden for a prolonged time. Emerging and experimental therapies. Eculizumab, that is the anti-C5 monoclonal antibody, which is under research. Autologous stem cell therapy, which is experimental, and immunomodulatory therapies, which are not yet got standardized. Now, prognosis and recovery. Most patients recover fully within 6 to 12 months. If once emergency can be handled positively, then most patients recover fully within 6 to 12 months. Severe cases may take 2 to 3 years for full recovery. 5 to 10% may have long-term disability, and mortality rate approximately 5%, which is mainly due to respiratory failure or cardiac disease. So what are the key takeaways? Start IVIG or PLEX ASAP as early as possible, based within 2 weeks. Monitor respiratory function closely, intubated if needed. Provide aggressive supportive care, pain control, physiotherapy, autonomic management, thrombosis prevention, and most patients recover, but early intervention improves outcomes. Mortality rate is only approximately 5%. So what are the key steps for prevention of Guillain-Barré syndrome? Food and water hygiene, vaccination, avoid close contact with sick, early treatment of bacterial or viral infections, control of immune trigger, post-infection close monitoring, reduce stress, avoid live vaccine for patients with past history of GBS. This close contact is not that the GBS can be transmitted through contact. It is that infection can be transmitted through contact, and then it can lead to immune dysregulation, leading to GBS. That's why avoid close contact with sick or take proper universal precautions. So, best friend is our defense, is a shield. The defense is the shield for the viruses. Don't let it viruses. Don't let viruses with your best friend. So if you like, don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day.